This is the Well Off Podcast. I'm George Masri. Thank you for joining today. I interviewed Martin Ouellet. Martin is from Kingston, Ontario, obviously French speaker. We talked a lot about his story. He was actually a military man, went to Afghanistan. He told me a little bit about how that impacted his thinking and how he got into real estate, because obviously if you're in the military, there isn't necessarily a direct relation to real estate, but just his thinking, and we talked about visualizing and goal setting and where he's at today through real estate and how he was able to actually purchase a new car, put all the money down by selling the first investment property that he had several years later. So it's a pretty cool story. We broke down the Kingston market a little bit and talked about the cap rates and the price per door on multi-units. We're talking about larger properties here. So there's going to be lots of good stuff for you. As always, I hope you'll enjoy. And if you guys know anyone who might benefit from this, I encourage you and ask you to share it. Leave us a review on the iTunes or Apple Podcasts platform. Thank you for all your support. And if you want to connect with me, just go to welloff.ca and my contact information will be there. Enjoy the episode and we'll talk soon. Welcome to the Wall Podcast, where the goal is to motivate, inspire, and share success principles. I am here with Martin Ouellet today. Martin is a real estate investor, a realtor, a business owner who is building generational wealth by leveraging the benefits of real estate. He believes in self-actualization and the power of a team, and also the importance of loving what you do. So Martin, welcome. I appreciate having you here today.
Thank you so much, George, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here with you all.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to have you. So I like to start off by asking you a little bit about your childhood. Do you want to tell me about where you grew up and just a couple things you remember?
I grew up in a very small town north of Quebec. My parents were both from different area. My mom from Gaspésie, my mom from New Brunswick. So my childhood going to school was basically local, close to Bécomo. But my summers were going to see the extended family, going to see grandpa, grandma, either in New Brunswick or in Gaspésie, and my uncle. So a very large family. Like I believe I do have about 30 direct cousins, probably as many uncles and aunts. And being the oldest of the family, my dad being the oldest, and myself amongst many. My small or their own cousins became my cousins. So yeah, a lot of good time with family. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, that's always interesting just to hear. Like, I know a lot of people in Quebec back in the day, they used to have big families, 10, 15 people. So it's cool that you come from a big family yourself. So let's talk about your journey a little bit. I know you were saying a little bit earlier that you were in the military. How did you go? Like, tell us a little bit about that and how real estate became a part of your life as well.
Well, first, my grandpa was a landlord. Having 12 kids, he had to find a way to close the loop. So he was a foreman for a company, cereal company, and on the side, he was also a carpenter, building furnitures, selling vegetables, and he started to buy lots in my small town, or building or renovating houses to have a bit of extra income to support the family. So I guess I got that exposure through my grandpa Ouellet at that age. My other side of the family, on my mom's side, the family is carpenter. My dad is an electrician. So growing up, I really thought I would be an electrician working at the dam and having a cottage, a snowmobile, and probably a dog or two, up to about 15, 16 years old, when a recruiting sergeant from the recruiting center came up to my school and presented us the opportunity to go to university at Royal Military College in Kingston and Saint-Jean at the time, to do a degree and explore the world, learn English, because I'm truly Francophone born, and travel the world and meet people. So I said yes to that. So after 1 year at college in Bécomo, I basically flew for BC and did the basic training camp in Chilliwack, BC. And after that summer, I ended up in Saint-Jean, Montreal, Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, for my first year. And 5 years later, I was graduating as a second lieutenant in the Army in the Signal Corps, providing communication systems to Canadian Armed Forces, supporting domestic or international operations. Cool.
Wow, what a journey. You've traveled a lot and experienced a lot of different things. So that's cool. So how does why did you start investing in real estate, and how?
I've met some famous business people in the year 2000, 2001, 2002 that were in network marketing. And each book that I was reading about how to start a business was saying, keep your job, build a system-based company, and invest your profits in real estate. So that seed was planted very early in my early 20s. So the first move for me was to buy a house for my family, which we did in Quebec City for like $96,000 in 2002. Renovated the house. I had the skills, I still do. So we went for a relatively simple but all-encompassing renovation over 6-7 years. When I came back from Afghanistan, I was deployed for 10 months with 3 kids in young age. I was posted to Ottawa. So I had the money from the tour, I had the profit from the Quebec City house. And I knew that profit over a few years, if I would multiply it into multiple properties, and that I was seeing who was doing that, like simple people, but skilled, hardworking, smart in their ways. If they were doing it, why not me? So when I really sat at the table, I had a house in Gatineau. I really said, okay, I need to talk to people that know about real estate in Ottawa, Gatineau. So I called about 10 realtors. I met with 5, and I selected one of them that was a senior person, was a former public servant, realtor, investing in real estate, had a portfolio of about 10 of 11 properties, small multi or single family homes. And I took him as my mentor. And he taught me, and he brought me to buy a deal. Of course, he was a seller, but he sold me good things. He sold me a semi-detached to start with that I just sold in Gatineau about 3 years ago. And that's a story about my first brand new vehicle. Was at 41 years old when I sold that first rental I bought in 2009, I believe, or 8. So the profit of this property paid my first. I spoiled myself. I pushed the reward for a long time, and I read that a lot in many books. Delay the reward, and then I said I'm going to have my forerunner when I can pay it from real estate. So that forerunner, I just reposted the Facebook post last week at the end of June about, hey, that vehicle means more than just a vehicle. It means hard work. Yeah, so 3 months later, after that first house, I was buying my first sixplex because the process was simple. I had written a lease for the first time with the Quebec format, and then I bought that sixplex building. That was the beginning of my journey as an investor in the multifamily.
Awesome, that's really cool. I like that. So you sold your semi, the first one that you bought, and then you bought yourself a nice car. Recently, is that in the last year or around 3 years ago that you bought the car?
That's 3 years ago.
Yeah. And you paid for it in cash, and that's it. You're done.
I had refinanced that property once already in, I forgot which year, 2013 probably, or 14. And when I sold it, even then, the increase in value, there was enough equity in the property to pay all the fees, and the net after taxes, everything was sufficient to build my own tailored TRD Pro 4Runner 7-seater, which it doesn't even exist. We created the vehicle from scratch, like a hobby, as a reward. Nice. So work hard, play hard. I asked my wife, she said, hey, when is the next time you're going to buy a new vehicle? I said, the next one will be a luxury car. And it's not soon because I don't believe in toys and believe in making a difference. But that vehicle made a difference for my family as a hockey dad, having enough room, reliable vehicle, and it fueled me to continue to invest in real estate and get my realtor license because I had something concrete in front of me to say that's the result of hard work and teamwork, actually.
Awesome. Yeah, well, that's great. Congrats on your car and on your successful investment there. What are you investing in today? What does your life look like? I know you're also a realtor, but tell us a little bit about what you're doing today and what type of properties you look for.
Yeah, right now, today, I'm really looking into multifamily. My last year, and for people that followed consumer real estate or myself on social media, you probably have seen a lot of BRRRR strategy, mentoring people to get into real estate, buying a single family home and converting either horizontally or vertically, the basement, or splitting a house left and right. To create value, to create cash flow, because of course, if you add a unit to a property, automatically cash flow will increase, but also create equity in the property, refinance the property, and generate cash flow. So being in Kingston, established, and seeing the opportunity of the rent raising way before the value does, that made a lot of sense with the capital available at the time, because we had done previous investment, refinancing, and raising funds through investors. We got about 25 investors in our network that yearly come back to us or do business. We started to do those properties, like to convert. At this stage, what I am looking for, we've closed or converted existing 12 in 12 months. So it's a huge achievement that we have, and we're proud to have done. So at this point, we're really turning into multifamily. We have made some good bids on the good properties, many units, multiple buildings. We didn't get the bid. We wanted to really pay a certain amount, and some other people were willing to pay more. So it's a hot market.
Are you talking about in Kingston right now, or are you looking in Kingston? Yeah, multis in Kingston.
Yeah, that was Kingston. We're looking abroad, Ontario. But of course, I do know my market a lot, and I recognize deals. However, if you go to compete with 4 or 5 other buyers may want to pay more or willing to pay more, which we are willing for some properties. But yeah, that's really where my focus is for prospection right now. In the larger multi, I do have a lot of clients in the smaller multi, and I always have my clients as a realtor go first. Half of them ask me to partner with them. Because they know that stabilizing the building, which means leaving the rent and the market value after doing the right work on the buildings, will generate them 200%. When alone, they probably will not achieve this in the same time frame. So they're willing to give away sometimes a share of it, which is not what I prefer to do. But I am there to help people reach their own objectives, and if it means our corporation being involved with the whole team, and we're always happy to do so.
Perfect. So we're talking a little bit about Kingston here. Can you tell us a bit about what the pros and cons are of that market?
The pros is that it's a very insular city with a lot of good income. When you look at the market analysis from last year, it's the same demographics as last year, although prices went up, of course, raised the rent prices. But having all those universities, the military base, having a strong government presence, correctional services, and 125,000 people or of population, Kingston offers all the services that you want and a lot of entertainment. Accessible from Toronto, Montreal, and Ottawa at 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive. It's a huge investment city. Student housing, waterfront, cottages with the lakes in the north. With the development of the new internet services with cottages right now, that technology, more and more people will buy north of Kingston, live by a lake, work from home, business from home, or professional working from home. Transit to Toronto or Ottawa or Montreal, but enjoying the quality and the peaceful aspect of Kingston. And of course, the entertainment. There's always somebody playing music well, COVID apart. There's always something happening in town, either on the street, at the park, in a club, with good bands, Tragically Hip, Tea Party. We have many other musicians that stop by Kingston. We get a good amphitheater, to have hockey games and good shows from great artists. So all this attracts retirees, professionals, young families, workers.
Nice.
That's why Kingston is like a hub for many things happening.
Yeah. And what kind of numbers are we looking at in Kingston? Like what would be maybe a price per door if we're talking about like some of these multis that you work on, and what are some of the cap rates that you can expect in the area?
Yeah. The advertised cap rate, and I'm going to talk with that, differentiate. We're not going to talk about single family home here that are completed by homeowners, neither do duplexes, which still are bought or purchased by homeowners to have additional rent. But let's talk about a bit of a larger multi.
Yeah.
Thorough investors would like to pay 125 a door. I think it's pretty hard in Kingston to do that. Most people will pay up to $200,000 a door. Talking about doors is kind of misleading in a way. Talking about bedrooms starts to make more sense.
Yeah.
In a way. And also square footage, location, property condition, age of the property. So there's many factors to assess prior to just putting an average out there. But I would say that if you purchase a per door average good mix of apartment mix at 150 to 175 a door, with rent that can be increased from 1,000 to 13, 14, 15, then you're talking about a good refinancing approach over 2, 3, 4, 5 years for buy and hold, for sure.
Awesome. So basically the buildings that are in need of renovations, you're able to get them for about 150 to 175 per door, fix them up, get that rent up to like, $1,000 to $1,300, and then refi. And that's kind of your strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're gonna be listed at 5% cap rate of the current rent. Some very well positioned or well renovated apartments will sell for a bit lower cap rate, which means more value. Could reach 180 a door. At the end of the day, if you have less capital investment and only to raise the rent with turnover, you're gonna be paying more 180 to 200 a door, and it depends on the age of the building. So average 10, 15 years old, 20 years old building, 175 to 200 a door. If it's all renovated, it's probably what you're gonna pay. The older building, C class, D class building, yes, you can reach these numbers you just talked about.
Yeah. Cool.
It depends on how much you want to put capital.
Sounds good. Okay, Martin, let me ask you this question. How do you recognize and seize opportunities?
What is the kind of car that you'd like to acquire? I'm returning a question. Tell me a brand of car and a specific car.
Tesla Roadster.
Okay. So how many people listening to this podcast saw a Tesla on the road in the last week? Now we're going to talk about Tesla today. And you tell me in a week, or write us an email, all right, about how many Teslas you saw on TV, in a magazine, or on the road since we put the Tesla seed in your head. So how to recognize a deal starts by visualizing a deal. You can talk about buildings. I took this approach, but I had a good chat with my 18 years old son that is interested into business, going to business school next year, newly graduate. And I was talking to him about, you need to define your objective. If your objective is cash flow or creating value, then you can map as a mental exercise, which is not free, it's work. You need to do work. You need to define, okay, what does it mean as per cash flow I'd like to? And then with time, analyzing deals, analyzing a multifamily, analyzing a bungalow, analyzing buying a lot by the highway where taxes are low and doing a storage facility and crunching numbers for cash flow. You need to do a mental exercise of what could be possible prior to recognizing that same opportunity or building when it goes by. So if you don't talk about Tesla today, you're not going to see a Tesla amongst 1,000 vehicles on the road you're going to be driving by next week. But since we talk about Tesla, or maybe you should go and have a look online about what does a Tesla look like? What's the logo of the Tesla? Okay, how do I recognize the brand or the smell of a Tesla? So if you look at what are the different options to create cash flow, okay, I can buy an underperforming multifamily. I can buy a piece of lot and big storage capacity. I can buy a home and make student housing or make a retirement home, have semi-services, and on and on and on. I can even buy a piece of land by the water and with the right things, have marina, okay, and have boats and rent the boats. Okay? So to recognize an opportunity, you need to understand what you want to achieve at the end state. Then what are the ways? The ways is the different manners, the different approaches that you can take to get to that outcome. It's like basically, it's mapping. It is the same thing as strategic mapping that I've learned with enforcers or with corporate strategy. What is the outcome? The ways to get there, reverse engineering that into what kind of possibilities exist in real estate. And if you don't know nothing about that, then you need to get some training. You need to read some books. You need to listen to podcasts like this. You need to call a mentor, a coach, join a club, and listen to people's success story, which to me is the most inspiring, the most educative way to do real estate, is to listen to people that have done it before. So once you have your ways identified, the ways is the different approaches, then you can start identifying the means that you need. Okay, I will need that type of building. I will need that type of lot with that type of zoning. So knowing your market becomes key. Knowing the actors in the market to know competition. Knowing who are your possible potential partners from a credit, money, professionals to help you transform that property or real estate into something that can be transformed into value added. So that's kind of a same thing as goal setting, but a bit more concrete. It's a bit less in the clouds and in the air as well. I want to be rich. I want to make $1 million. I want to make $100,000 a year. I want to make that much per month. It's taking that end state of money / lifestyle, but transposing it into how do I really get there? So why am I able to talk to you about this today? It's because over the last now, I have to say 13 years because it's been 11, 12 years for a year and a half and times went like this. It is everything we've done led us to understand how to do multifamily stabilization, how to renovate, how to do a flip, how to do rent to own that we've done for 6 years, how to build a condo hotel in a different country than Canada. What are the risks? What are the partners' risks, the legal, the fiscal risk attached to that? And then how do you develop local? And how do you transform your competition into allies and partners through a real estate investment club? People collaborate, people exchange ideas. Hey, I'm missing on that deal. Do you want it? You know, this is the kind of atmosphere we're created in Kingston with most of the members of the club being happy for the others because there's enough for everybody. I don't know nobody that can do it all by themselves. And if somebody exists, give me a call. I want to know your secret. So this is a bit how, through time, we as a team became good at recognizing deals. Mm-hmm. A lot of people call me, hey, I have a potential deal here, a potential opportunity. So to me, there's a property, real estate, that is a potential opportunity, which means we're not sure, but potentially could generate cash flow or value. And then it becomes a deal when it's aligned with your strategy and you tailor it to what you want to achieve personally. So a deal for me is different from a deal for George or a deal for any other person calling me to find them a property in Kingston in real estate investment realm or even a family home. It depends on what they really want to do. sometimes they don't know. So there's an educational part to it. But yeah, that summarizes that very key question.
Okay, yeah, we touched on it. You touched on a couple things there. One of the things that I liked was visualizing, and basically you didn't say this, but kind of like setting goals and writing them down. And I think that's so important because even for myself lately, I've noticed that when I've written down goals, I feel like I often accomplish them, but if they're not very specific, I will accomplish the goal, but not exactly how I want. So I think it's awesome to visualize exactly what you want very, very precisely and take the time and write it down, and you'll get there eventually. Like you set a deadline on it, and just somehow the universe just helps you reach your goals. It's pretty amazing.
Exactly. Well, we all know about the SMART. Okay, having specific goals, measurable, accessible, timely, realistic, and timely. SMART. This remains, but I think making it tangible enough so that it leads you to put the plan together. So I was reading a book about the author was against goal setting, saying that there's a philosophy behind it. Okay, and it was like goal setting is setting yourself for disappointment, and not reaching your goals and stuff like that. But it goes with my view of thinking is that if you write your generic objective down, your different ways, and it takes courage to write it down and being accountable to somebody else. And in many forum, we offer to be accountable for people or be accountable to somebody. So I am telling my wife or my kids or my partners, I'm committing to achieve this year. Okay, and if I don't, there's going to be a reason for it, but I'm committing to do this. Okay, we're just kicking off a Keller Williams team in Kingston as a brokerage. They didn't exist before. There was probably some footprint back in the days, but it takes courage as a relatively new team of realtor on the board in Kingston to take this and bring it to the next step with perceptions, with who are these people and why, and But we truly believe in collaboration, that we can set a new or renew or remind people about the standard that we want to work as a realtor, and then attract people from any brokerages to collaborate with us and be on social media, congratulate other realtors about their own successes, working for any other firm. It doesn't matter. We are the team serving clients, and we can really help each other. And we see this in Kingston. So that continuum real estate set of values, Keller Williams set of values resonates within me, and it resonates with other people of the profession in Kingston, investors, realtors from any other brokerage. And it doesn't really matter which banner you have on top of your head or in front of your business card. It's what we achieve having this mentality that counts. So yes, we're really preaching that, and it makes a difference.
Awesome. Well, that's great. There's been a lot of good things in here, Martin. So we're going to move on to the next section, which is the random 5. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions. You just tell me the first thing that comes to mind. First answer. Okay. So number 1, do you prefer gold or Bitcoin?
Gold.
Okay. 2, what's the scariest thing you've ever done?
Having to make hard decisions about human beings being in danger. And I'm talking about my military background. Being afraid to make the wrong decision, but knowing by training that as long as you make one, it will be the best that you can do.
Yes.
And there's a lot of background to that answer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely, you have like a certain history that a lot of people don't have. So I can totally understand that. Number 3, what's your biggest regret?
My daughter asked me that question this week. It's very interesting. We went camping at Sandbanks, and she asked me the exact same question. And it took me a while because I didn't want to tell her 15 things I regretted.
Yeah.
But basically, it was not to be patient enough in certain circumstances.
Okay.
That will have influenced my life completely differently. So not being as patient as I could have been.
Got it.
And she answered, "That's a good question. That's a good answer."
Yeah.
I'm
Awesome.
proud of my daughter. That was a
Cool.
good question.
Okay, so number 4, what do you wish kids were taught in school?
How to find themselves, find their root values, and how to reach a way to find themselves through failure. School is assessing students as losing points. And they grow up and they are afraid to lose points. They are afraid to fail. So the fear of failure is the worst enemy to our country, to our nation, to have an entrepreneurial mindset. And entrepreneurial mindset doesn't mean making tons of money. It means realizing what you really want to do, being an artist, being a doctor, finding the cure for cancer. But people are so afraid of not succeeding or afraid of failure that should be taught at school very early. You don't have to be afraid. Everything you're going to be doing will make you a better person and being stronger for the next step.
Cool. Yeah, I never thought about it that way, but it's true. You lose points for every mistake you make in school, so it does kind of instill that fear of failure, like you said. Number 5, what makes you tough?
Failure. Each time I don't achieve what I wanted or what I had planned, what I wanted does not matter, because what I want is an emotion, is ego. But what I have planned is mentally, is profound to me. It's what needs to be done. So yeah, really, it is more into that spin. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Well, that's the random 5 there. Do you want to tell people how they could reach you and what services you provide?
Yes, of course. We're focusing in Kingston, but we have a regular knowledge of Canada-wide through our network of collaborators. So yeah, Continuum Real Estate, Continuum Real Estate Group with realtors can help you shape your investment plan from an investment perspective. We can help you find a team across Canada of realtors that can help you acquire these properties. If you want to look at the Kingston market, we can help you, of course, go through the market and see what's available out there. Basically, if you have a question, just go on my Facebook, Martin Ouellet, pretty easy to find Continuum Real Estate Services and Investment as the page. Martin Ouellet at kw.com is my email. Always happy to help in all the realms of real estate.
Awesome. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, George. Same for you.
As always, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the content. And if you did, I ask you to share this with a friend, with a family member, somebody who might benefit. And it's always appreciated if you can leave us a review, especially if you're listening to it on the Apple Podcasts app, or if you're on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, comment, and your support is always appreciated. Thank you very much.